Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into another episode of Universe Mode on the JPG channel as we are kicking things off with the debut of the man that is simply absolute Ricky Saints. Of course, you can see Ethan Page accompanying him down to the ring. It seems that these guys have sort of agreed on a partnership of sorts after last week's altercation between the two in the parking lot. Not even really gonna call it an altercation. It was more of just a conversation. There was nothing physical or negative about it. It was two egotistical individuals agreeing that they can see eye to eye on a few things here, and one of those things is being that they are not looking to be overlooked when it comes to the new talent that has obviously graced themselves on this channel. I'm talking about guys like Javon Evans, for example, guys like maybe a Oba Femi, a Braun Breaker, all these guys that are much younger in age compared to Saints and Page. But the thing about Saints and Page is they feel like they got it out the mud, they got it the hard way, so they don't like the fact that these PC guys or these indie guys has only been on the indies for maybe 2 to 3 years are taking all these opportunities. And a perfect prime example in terms of Saints vision, it would be right here, the young OG Javon Evans, a man that has only been wrestling since he was about 18 years old, and he's only just now 22 years old. So that tells you right there, only about 4 years of experience under his belt, but man, has that 4 years of experience taken him to very high places. And when I mean high places, I mean, look at, he's 22 years old on the main roster on Monday Night Raw, doing this thing, showing out. Could you ask for a better lifestyle? But that's the thing. I think Saints and Page feel like they should have got their break a long time ago, just like this kid did. But unfortunately for Saints and Page, when they were coming up, the independents were not exactly looked at as the first place to look for talent. You had to grind your way out. You had to really prove yourself to the higher ups that you even belonged in a position as even close to a television screen. And that came into a different bunch of variables. But either way, one way or another, Saints and Ethan Page are now here. They're in the limelight. They're on the main stage. So we're gonna, let's see what they've learned throughout the years. Let's see what they can bring to the table that Javon Evans or a younger up-and-coming talent can't already provide themselves. Because, I mean, it's a dog-eat-dog world. If Saints and Page are so eager to try and take these opportunities away from the younger talent, then they have to prove that they can, one, hang with this younger talent, and two, that they can do it better than all this fresh talent. As here we go, this match starting off with a few strikes from Page, and now collar and elbow tie-ups, as Saints is obviously just trying to, again, rub his own ego and make Javon feel like the smaller man, so to speak, because he can power him into a corner or power him into the ropes and then get a cheap shot off just like that. But Javon Evans ain't going to have none of that as he comes with a flurry of strikes in his own right. And now look at this, Javon Evans rising through the sky to deliver a drop kick of epic proportions, but Ricky Saints getting the shoulder out at one, but Javon Evans is staying on the go with a huge forearm strike right to the jaw. For Javon Evans, he could use a big victory after falling short to Ethan Page last week due to the interference of a debuting Ricky Saints. And for Ricky Saints, this is his in-ring debut, so he can ill afford to lose this match. I would say both of these men need to win, maybe just as bad as one another. As look at this, Javon Evans getting a little bouncy to start our show off right. Using that rope-assisted Hurricane Rana to get some damage done, but jumps right into a flying clothesline by Ricky Saints. Let's not, even though we like to call Saints and Page, the egotistical pair here on Monday Night Raw, we can not deny the talent that is not only Ethan Page, but obviously, more importantly right now, Ricky Saints. This man is a man that stood toe-to-toe with guys like Bryan Danielson, guys like MJF, just to name a few, FTR, a few other ones. Sting, as a matter of fact. Ricky Saints once shared the ring, or lack of the better word, of a ring with Sting at one point in his career. So Saints has, he has some credibility under his belt, winning championships all around the world before coming here. And now he is here, like I said, but he's going to have to show up or show out. As now, look at this. Oh, big drop kick from Javon Evans. And Javon Evans taken to the skies, using that bounciness again to deliver a springboard moonsault. Now the young OG is cooking here in the opening of our show. And what a show we do have for you folks. As look at this, Javon Evans goes for it again. Another springboard moonsault. I say, what a show we do have for you folks. We got the Lucha Sensation Penta in action, taking on Finn Balor later on the show. Blake Monroe is going to reappear here in singles competition. Also have the debut of Powerhouse Hobbs. After last week he made his surprise return back to the ring by taking out CM Punk. My God, look at this. Javon Evans. Clearly, Ethan Page was chirping away a little bit at the young OG, and he did not appreciate that. He just took to the skies to take out Ethan Page, but that gives Ricky Saints the opportunity to get right back in the fight. As I was saying before, things started to heat up. A big spear on the outside. Hobbs will be making his debut here tonight, after, of course, aligning himself with Samoa Joe and Bronson Reed last week. So that's definitely something to pay attention to. And then our main event is going to be certainly one that you cannot miss either, because the prize fighter Kevin Owens, looking for a measure of revenge on the Vision, will go one-on-one with Konosuke Takeshita, the man that took him out 2 weeks ago when the Vision appeared and made their first proclamation, if you will, here on Monday nights. So Kevin Owens is going to be looking for a measure of revenge here tonight against the Japanese phenom, the Alpha, Konosuke Takeshita. What a main event that is about to be. But what a match this is as well, as Ricky Saints is really bringing it to the kid. And now look at this. Looking for a Dominator. A Dominator from Ricky Saints, almost a modified Rochambeau. He usually gets a running start on the Rochambeau. Maybe that might be a little bit to his discredit there, not getting the running start to deliver that extra impact, because Javon Evans was able to get the shoulder out after all. As now Saints, look out, beautiful spine buster, an absolutely beautiful spine buster, no pun intended, as Javon Evans again getting a big kick out here, trying to stay in the fight, but Saints has been all over him since the start of the bell ringing. As now young OG trying to send Ricky Saints into the turnbuckle. Saints returning the reversal. And now Javon Evans going off the ropes. Oh, both of these guys crashing and burning that time. Javon sending Saints into the turnbuckle again. Big strike right to the face, and look out. Don't want to be there. Oh my God, a springboard Hurricane Rana from Javon Evans. And now Evans is taken to the skies with a big elbow drop. Goes for the cover and only gets a 2 count. But my God, has Javon Evans really turned it up a notch in this one, as now Javon goes off the ropes with that unorthodox springboard single leg drop kick. Almost a corkscrew drop kick, but again, it's Ethan Page not knowing what's best for him, not keeping his mouth shut. As now Ricky Saints does have an opportunity to get back into this thing, but I'm sure the damage has been done. Javon Evans could be moments away from a big victory here tonight. Like I said, a victory that he could use, especially with the Royal Rumble just coming up this coming week. Javon Evans needs some momentum heading into a pay-per-view like that. A pay-per-view that can certainly change your career around in one night, as now Saints delivering a huge lariat to get himself back in the driver's seat. Beautiful arm drag by Ricky. And now look at this. Back and forth these two go. Javon now going for a roll-up attempt. Saints, though, needs to find a way out of this. Almost got the 3 count right then and there. And now Saints could be in trouble here. Javon Evans taken to the skies with the young OG cutter. The OG cutter connects, and that is going to do it right here to start things off. No, Ricky Saints, though, showing a little bit of heart, showing a little bit of resiliency. Like I said, we can nag him all day about how egotistical he might be and how full of himself he is, but this man, at the end of the day, he does have that dog in him. And that's exactly what Saints is proving right now, surviving the OG cutter. As now, look at this, a strike right to the face after another distraction provided by Ethan Page. And once again, the numbers game seeming to get the best of Javon Evans as Ricky Saints picks up his first victory on Monday Night Raw. As I said, folks, the numbers game between Ethan Page and Ricky Saints proven to be the winning factor here tonight, getting in Javon Evans' head. I'm sure there's plenty of people in the back that would like to punch these two guys in the face, though, so I would watch out. Ricky Saints with a big victory here. As promised, folks, coming up next, action in the women's division. Blake Monroe, the Glamour herself, is back in the building, just a few weeks shy from her incredible showing, albeit lost to Sasha Banks on the Monday Night Raw premiere 2026. She is back now and looking to have better success here tonight, but she's going to be in the ring with someone who's just as, if not more experienced than Sasha Banks, and that would be Naomi. Blake Monroe getting ready for singles competition against, basically, it's going to be Glamour versus Glow, because she's taking on Naomi as we're awaiting the former women's champion out here. So it certainly has not been an easy route for Blake Monroe in this newfound version of herself that she debuted on the premiere episode of Monday Night Raw. Taking on two veterans of this business like Sasha Banks and Naomi to start this new chapter in her career. But like I was saying in the Javon and Ricky Saints match, it's all about momentum right now, and I think Blake Monroe could really use that momentum. But then again, Naomi could also use it, because just a few weeks ago, she was in an excellent match with Io Sky, the women's champion, and falling short in that one. So really, Naomi could use the victory just as much as Monroe here tonight, heading into the Royal Rumble coming up in a few short days. Naomi making her way down to the ring. Always a pleasure for the fans to see and to witness live. Always bringing the energy, upping the mood. Meanwhile, Blake Monroe, I'm sure, would love for the mood to stay as diluted as possible if need be. But this should be an excellent match, honestly. In ring, I mean, this should be pretty good. Even on card, on paper, this looks like a good match. So I know that these two are going to bring it when it comes to performance-wise. I'm excited to see what these two ladies are going to dish out as the bell rings and when this one is underway. Naomi immediately going for some kicks. Blake Monroe trying to shut that down pretty early. She goes for some chops and a disrespectful smack to just a paintbrush right to the face of Naomi. Now up and over, making her think about it. Beautiful arm drag by the glamorous one. And now look at this, going for I thought she was going to go for a Shiranui, but instead, Naomi able to get a power slam off. And now Naomi taking to the ropes to deliver. My God, what a single leg kick right to the face. And now Naomi, top rope, big elbow drop right to the cold, dead heart of Blake Monroe. Gets a kick out at one, though. Monroe still Still has a ton of fight left in the game. Does not want to lose this match. Not even 5 minutes into the match, that's for sure. As now Naomi and Monroe starting to jockey for position a little bit. But look at this. Naomi, that's that experience factor. Able to turn things right back in her favor with a huge face buster that time. And now Naomi going off the ropes with a beautiful springboard crossbody. Beautiful springboard crossbody. But no, Monroe, though. Monroe trying to catch her off guard with a roll-up attempt. Only gets a 1 count. And look at this beautiful sling blade. I was going to say, just as we're crediting Naomi with her veteran instincts and veteran capability to turn the match in her favor, then you have Blake Monroe pulling off moves where she's trying to keep her guessing, like roll-up attempts. Playing possum, suckering her opponent in to a false sense of security. Look at this. Beautiful techers right now by Blake Monroe being displayed. And now she turns right into a butterfly suplex. No, Naomi with a slip out. Beautiful arm drag reversal by Naomi. As now Naomi back in the driver's seat once more. Every time Blake Monroe seems to think that she has the better of Naomi, she tells her that 2 and 2 does not equal 4 in that particular scenario. As now Monroe driving some huge elbows to the I was gonna say to the face, but that was actually to the midsection, and then delivers a huge knee strike right to the face. That could certainly bust open Naomi if she's not careful, taking too many of those. And look at these chops and punches. Monroe has certainly turned up the aggression the more that this match continues. I think she realizes, and I think she's quite threatened by the challenge of being in there with a veteran like Naomi. Beautiful crossbody off the second. Just right into a snap mirror, and then delivers 2 sharp elbows to the back of the neck. Trying to disrupt the vertebrae, I suppose, of Naomi here. She sends Naomi off the ropes with another arm drag. And now Monroe is starting to show out here. Now she's starting to get into her groove. As look at this. Caught the arm. And a face buster right onto the knee. I don't know if I've ever seen anything like that. Definitely innovation at its finest from the Glamour. As now big kick again. Working over the back and the neck of Naomi is Monroe. And now Blake Monroe going to be going for a powerbomb of sorts as Naomi is going to be sent for a right again, targeting that back. A powerbomb right onto the knees. Project Ciampa-esque maneuver by Blake Monroe. That's hard to watch. That's even harder to watch in a huge Queen's Crown headbutt right to the face, and this might be all but elementary at this point as Monroe is setting up for the end. Double underhook DDT. The double underhook DDT connects, goes for the cover. Naomi gets the shoulder out. How did she kick out of that one? The double underhook DDT usually gets the job done, but no siree. As now look at this. Oh, big sharp knee right to the face. We can't get a good camera on it, but I think Naomi just got split open because of that knee strike. I was saying earlier, you're gonna want to be careful about those knees of Monroe. I mean, yeah, she's pretty to look at, but man, she comes from the Joshi. She comes from Japan. She comes from Stardom at one point in her career. She knows how to throw them bows, that's for sure. As now Naomi, look at this. Oh, goes for a strike right to the face, but Monroe able to slip out. And now Naomi, it could be into a precarious position here because Monroe has grabbed a submission hold. Not exactly a submission-based type of wrestler, but whatever you can do to get the win, I suppose. But Naomi able to fight out and try to control the pace once more. But Monroe has really been bringing the fight towards the former women's champion, former women's tag team champion, that being from Naomi. As now Naomi has her locked in. Look out, a heat seeker to Blake Monroe. The heat seeker DDT connects, legs trapped into the head, and goes for the cover. Monroe now has to get a big kick out. And this is the deep, deep waters that Monroe was into with Sasha Banks a couple weeks ago. We saw how that fared for Monroe. Is she going to suffer the same fate here tonight against another veteran like Naomi, as she is trapped in with both arms there? As now Monroe could be forced to submit for the second time since re-debuting her new found form, her newfound character. But look at this beautiful roll-up attempt by Monroe. Has her bridged together, but Naomi has to kick out. The Rings of Saturn Monroe was able to escape the Rings of Saturn, but Naomi striking right back with a beautiful Hurricane Rana. Now look at these kicks making their mark, and then once you thought that she was done with the body shots, here goes a headshot for good measure. And now Naomi is fighting her footing back into this match as she plants the back of her leg right onto the back of the neck of Monroe. Naomi's going top rope. Look out here. Goes for an elbow drop. Hit one earlier. Monroe was able to scout it this time. As now look at this. Monroe going for another powerbomb, but Naomi driving some elbows right to the face of Monroe. And now look out here. Back and forth these two are going. And look at these strikes by Monroe now, just absolutely vicious. Driving some hard knees right to the midsection of Naomi. And now, wait a minute, turns Naomi right around. Another knee strike. Right to the open cut that was issued by Monroe earlier. Now, no. Stormbreaker. Pile driver by Monroe, center of the ring. Goes for the cover. My God, somebody check on Naomi. A spike pile driver in the center of the ring. Anything for Monroe to get the job done here tonight. Anything for Monroe to come up with a W. She did not want to leave the same way she left last week in a match with Sasha Banks. And as we can see, as we could have saw on the replay, Monroe going to great lengths, great measures to get the job done, delivering a spike pile driver, a move that was essentially banned from this company for the better part of 20 years, and Monroe used it to pick up her first victory since reiterating herself. Definitely a heinous actions of Monroe in our last match, but we're gonna have to move on, folks, because the big strong boy Tyler Bate is in the building, and I don't know if he was just inspired or motivated by his tag team partner last week, that being Pete Dunne, the man that's behind him, when he saw him take on Obafemi, because Tyler Bate has volunteered to be Powerhouse Hobbs' first opponent here on the main roster. Now, you get your mind back to the NXT days. If you were following this channel back then, Powerhouse Hobbs and, ironically enough, Ricky Saints were formerly Ricky Starks. They were a team on NXT for a short bit there. So we are a bit familiar here on the JPG channel with Saints and Hobbs. But this, honestly, the same show. These two men are debuting for the first time here on Monday Night Raw, ironically. But Hobbs is obviously a much different individual these days. He's aligned himself with some bad men, as we're about to see in just a few short seconds here. Not only has he aligned himself with Big Bronson Reed, a man that has hospitalized guys like Braun Strowman in the past, but also he has aligned himself, probably more importantly, with this man right here, the #1 contender for the WWE Championship come the Royal Rumble, the Samoan submission machine, the Destructor Samoa Joe. As look at this, what a unit this is. And I was told by Samoa Joe before the show started that this is the Ops. That's what Samoa Joe is calling this faction of his between Hobbs, Bronson Reed, and himself. These are the Ops, and the Ops, quote unquote, are never lacking. If I could steal quite literally the phrase that Joe provided to me earlier before the show began. And you look at those three men, I don't think you're ever going to think of the word lacking. They ain't lacking anything. They ain't lacking skill. They ain't lacking intensity. They ain't lacking power. None of that. As Hobbs is the only one Well, I would say Bronson Reed is technically dressed to fight, but he's going to be watching from the sidelines just like Joe, because this is Hobbs' time to shine. Bronson Reed making his debut on Monday Night Raw, formerly a SmackDown superstar, as the surprise opponent of CM Punk last week. And we thought, oh, look at this Powerhouse. Oh, before I finish my thought here, Powerhouse Hobbs just bounced himself right into, what the hell? Oh my God, a frog splash, and a springboard frog splash at that. A man that size should not be moving like that. It's absolutely just unimaginable, if you ask me. And then right after, just deadlifting this poor man off his feet into a military press. What I was gonna say is Bronson Reed. We were wondering if there was gonna be, you know, revealed that him and Samoa Joe have been aligned, and indeed that seems to be the case. Samoa Joe didn't just pick Bronson Reed because he was sitting there and catering and he wanted him to face CM Punk. There is a calculated plan. Anytime you're talking about Samoa Joe, everything he does is for a reason. And him bringing Hobbs and Reed to Monday Night Raw, believe me, there is a reason behind it. And some tells me championship gold has a lot to do with it. Samoa Joe wants to better his future and the rest of his guys. As my God, Tyler Bates has got his head taken clean off his shoulders. I'm surprised his man bun is still intact after that. Powerhouse Hobbs is absolutely decimating this poor man. I mean, hell, Pete Dunne had a better chance against the Intercontinental Champion Obafemi last week than Tyler Bate has right now against Powerhouse. And now Hobbs is just absolutely mutilating this man with his face, with his fists. And don't throw him into Bronson Reed. I mean, Reed would just swallow him whole. As now Powerhouse breaking the count here. Bronson Reed definitely using the referee's limits to his advantage, I suppose, as Powerhouse Hobbs taking advantage of the distraction he didn't even need to deliver another clothesline. I don't think I've seen Bate get a lick of offense in this match, and I don't think we might never will. As I look at this, Tyler Bate challenging Hobbs in the middle of this ring. You got to give it to Tyler Bate. I mean, I guess we're kind of joking a little bit about this performance tonight, but that's because Hobbs is so damn destructive and dominant. But this is a man that has gone toe-to-toe with guys like the Ring General Gunther in the past. So Tyler Bate is not, I mean, he's the very first and youngest NXT UK champion of all time. And he held that title for quite some time before being defeated, ironically, by the man you see by his side today, Pete Dunne. But some tells me the only thing that's done is this match. Because look at this, Hobbs with the torture rack just stretching this poor man's back out. And yeah, I don't think Tyler had any choice but to submit. Powerhouse Hobbs with a dominant performance in his debut here on the main roster. His Monday Night Raw debut and his debut a part of the Ops. Reed and Hobbs, but wait a minute, hold on. I'm told CM Punk is out here with a steel chair. Hobbs trying to chase him down. My God, Punk, a man enraged, a man obsessed with revenge after the way last week went, has a steel chair, and he's going to town on these two monsters. Joe's already fled the scene, of course. Why wouldn't he? When you see a madman like CM Punk wielding a steel chair, you get the hell out of Dodge. And now Powerhouse Hobbs and Bronson Reed are unfortunately feeling the wrath of the Second City Saint. Punk now grabbing that steel chair again. Bronson Reed trying to even the odds here, I suppose, with another steel chair, but Punk ain't having none of it. And now look out here. Punk throwing Bronson Reed right to the ramp. Hobbs, though, challenging CM Punk to a better fight here, but Punk now, look out, has Hobbs right on the knee. And now look out here, big neck breaker on the mat outside the ring, right on the ramp. What the hell? We had to try to get a hold of what was going on down there. CM Punk just absolutely, I mean, retaliated is probably an understatement. He certainly got his lick back after last week, taking out Hobbs and Bronson Reed, obviously trying to maybe even the odds for himself a little bit heading into his match with Samoa Joe at the Royal Rumble. I don't know if Powerhouse Hobbs and Bronson Reed are going to make it to the Rumble after a beatdown like that, courtesy of CM Punk. And a lot of people might be like, well, why did he need a steel chair? Have you seen... Well, did you see, one, what Powerhouse Hobbs just did to Tyler Bate? And two, have you seen him and Bronson Reed? Like, have you met them in real life? Because I can promise you, if you did, you would probably be crapping your pants. Those guys are absolutely monsters. And there's a reason why Samoa Joe handpicked those two men to walk side by side with him on Monday nights. But speaking of Monday nights, it's been quite some time since we've seen this man on Monday nights. Welcome back, Penta. Last time we seen Penta, he was challenging for the Intercontinental Championship against Obafemi back at WrestlePalooza. Penta is making his return back to the squared circle, and what a way to come back, because he has his hands full with the Judgment Day Zone, Finn Balor, a man that has been having his hands full with Adam Cole and the Undisputed Era as of late. Tensions have reached a boiling point between those two factions. As a matter of fact, last week, Balor and Adam Cole had to be sent back to the locker room after getting into a bit of a quarrel in the center of the ring during a match between McDonough and Roderick Strong. This week, it's Finn Balor that is taking to the ring, taking to some action. And I'm sure, even though Penta has a mask on, the only thing that Balor sees when he looks at Penta tonight will be Adam Cole's face. What a show is already been, folks. We had the re-debut, the arrival on Monday Night Raw of Powerhouse Hobbs in very destructive fashion. Then right after that, CM Punk comes back out here wielding a steel chair, looking at like a man absolutely possessed. Had incredible first showing for Ricky Saints to start our show. Monroe and Naomi brought it to each other. Very hard-hitting match that we kind of expected out of those two women. And we're still not done yet, folks. Still not done yet, because our main event is yet to come. The Japanese phenom, Konosuke Takeshita, the alpha of the Vision itself, taking on the prize fighter, Kevin Owens. And if you thought CM Punk was coming out here with a man looking obsessed and looking out for revenge, wait till you see what Kevin Owens brings in the main event. Owens does not appreciate being attacked from behind. He doesn't appreciate somebody trying to make an example out of him, just like the Vision tried to a number of weeks ago. As now Penta, look at this, kicking right to the legs of Balor. Going right for the Prince. Try to send him in the roast, but accidentally ran right into our official here, as now Penta delivers a huge jumping neck breaker to Balor. Ducking and dodging here. Penta is looking good. Like I said, it's been a little while, so he's definitely had the time to rest, but there's also an aspect of ring rust where it comes into play sometimes. But when you've been doing it this as long as Penta has, I don't think ring rust is really something you have to really worry about. I mean, even on his off days, he's down in Mexico training students anywhere from 8 to 16 years old, learning how to wrestle for the first time. I mean, this guy is on the grind 24/7, and wrestling is his entire life. It's his blood. It's his passion. Now look at this, Balor trying to take him over with the STO, but Penta able to use his power to overpower Finn. And now sending Balor into the turnbuckle. Look out here. Penta trying to come in hot there, but Balor turning things around in his favor once more. You never like to see when the Judgment Day come out here with a different affiliate, because you never know. I mean, 9 times out of 10 they're looking to have the cards in their favor. And just when I say that, McDonough gets right on the apron, probably trying to talk some trash to Penta, create an opening for Balor, and it seems like it just did that, because he connects with a huge basement drop kick right to the knees, and then comes off the ropes with a springboard drop kick. Balor now taking this opportunity and doing the most with it. Beautiful drop kick off the top rope. going for a cover. Could be an early night at the office for Penta, but Penta getting the shoulder out. As now Finn, look out. Talk about the power. Look at the power of Balor delivering a World's Strongest Slam-esque maneuver that time, and then dropping the elbows right to the face. And an elbow drop right to the heart of Penta, which we know he has a ton of. Preaches cero miedo, zero fear in this man whatsoever. He ain't scared of the Judgment Day. He ain't scared of Finn Balor. He ain't scared of a single man on this roster. As now Balor taking some cheap shots while the ref's back is turned. I believe out of the corner of our camera lens and my eye in general, McDonough undid that turnbuckle pad and gave Balor an opportunity to choke him out on the ropes for a few seconds. Like I said, those are those little pockets of opportunities that the Judgment Day will take throughout their matches. As now we're engaging in a slugfest between these two, more like a chop or a smack fest, really, but Balor's telling him to lay it in strong, and that's exactly what he's going to do. Big super kick, but there's McDonough chirping away on the outside again. McDonough getting into the face of Penta, just like Balor did to Adam Cole last week, and now look out! That again creating a window of opportunity, and a veteran like Finn Balor only needs that just brief glance of a peek of a window, as look out! The coup de grace has already hit. This could be all but over. Penta going to suffer his first loss in 2026, but Balor does not get the win just yet. And now Penta with a kick right to the face. Penta quickly realizing that he's got to find some way back into this match before it's all too late. And now, wait a minute, Penta. Oh, no, you know he's going for it here. He throws a cero miedo down, gonna snap the wrist for the sacrifice. And Balor might have just sacrificed his arms to Penta. As now, wait a minute here. Penta driver incoming. Talk about an early night. Might be an early night for Finn. Needs a big kick out here, and he's able to get the shoulder out. I don't even think Penta expected him to kick out of that one. I think he probably has to give a little props to Balor after a big kick out like that. As now Penta sending Balor into the turnbuckle, but Balor now sweeps the legs. Big double foot stomp. Mushroom stomp to the chest. And now Balor climbing on the second rope here, calling Penta up to his feet. Again, it's McDonough fiddling with that turnbuckle pad in the corner there. Just very disruptive. If that's one word that can describe the entire Judgment Day, it's disruptive. These guys absolutely do anything to make sure that the order is never restained. Let's now look at this. Back and forth, these two are going, delivering some elbows to the midsection, trying to get off any shot they really can. Penta going off the ropes with a beautiful springboard crossbody. And speaking of the ropes, Balor's trying to utilize the ropes to keep himself up on his feet. And now Penta sends him to the outside, looking to take to the skies, but Balor meets him with a tremendous forearm strike to the jaw. And now a kick to the midsection. Balor has been able to cut Penta off every single time. He seems to be getting something going here. It's definitely a very wise strategy from Finn Balor. Penta's the type of superstar where if he gets that brief minute of momentum, he can take that and pretty much ride it all the way to the end and come up with the victory most of the time. As now look at this, Penta going off the... Oh, wait a minute. He was literally stopped dead in his tracks courtesy of McDonough. Like, Penta literally had to stop what he was doing because JD McDonough is making so much of a scene here. I can't believe that. And Finn Balor is getting some much-needed breaks here. But I think Penta's had enough. He takes to the outside. And that'll teach McDonough to get involved in his business. But look out. Balor was going for Sling Blade. Penta reverses it into his own Sling Blade. Now the pace is starting to quicken. The pace is starting to get to the point where Penta loves it to be at. As Balor now is trying to keep up. Penta sends him off the ropes. Tilt-a-whirl backbreaker. As now Penta calling him up to his feet this time. And Penta's on the second rope. And look at this. Delivers a huge hurricane run off the second rope. Penta now going top rope, wasting no time here. Big swanton bomb and got all of it. Goes for the cover. 1, 2. No, Balor peels the shoulder off the mat. And oh, wait a minute. Penta, when he goes to that corner, he's usually looking for that Mexican destroyer. And he's getting a big run up, but no, Balor able to sidestep. And now Balor here. Oh no, Penta reversing whatever Balor had planned. And now he sends him into the turnbuckle once more. Penta now putting Finn Balor in a precarious position on that top rope. And now look at this. Just sends him crashing to the floor. And Penta now high risk, high reward once again with the mushroom stomp off the top. Almost a different version of the coup de grace, so to speak. As now Penta running at Balor full steam ahead and delivers a huge chop to the chest. And now look out here. Big reverse sling blade that time from Penta. As now Balor trying to crawl to the corner. Penta has also again taken to McDonough. Obviously, like I said, he has seen and heard enough out of McDonough. Trying to take care of him for good in this match. But runs right into McDonough though. McDonough actually able to turn it around and send Penta back into the ring. Wait a minute. Adam Cole, we mentioned Adam Cole and Balor's problems in the last few weeks. Adam Cole is out here and has fully distracted Finn Balor, taunting at the crowd. And Balor just suffered a Mexican destroyer courtesy of Adam Cole. Penta's calling for the end here. Cole's trying to cost Balor another opportunity here tonight. Finn now reversing Penta, big clothesline. And now Cole's on the apron here, talking some trash. Finn Balor with a huge strike and just sends Adam Cole off the ropes. But clearly there is a different plan for Adam Cole in mind. This wasn't about him getting his hands on Finn Balor. This was about him sending a message to Finn Balor and also costing him a big match because Penta just delivered the Penta driver for a second time. And because of Adam Cole, Penta walks away with the victory. That really has to sting when it comes to Finn Balor, knowing that Adam Cole costed him an opportunity like that, just knowing that the tensions are at a boiling point between those two faction leaders. But on the flip side of the coin, Penta picks up a huge victory over a former Universal Champion at that in Finn Balor. Congratulations to Penta. I'm very excited to see what 2026 brings towards him. All right, folks, it is main event time. A match we've been building and hyping all night long. As you can see, the Vision's leader, Seth freaking Rollins, out here, accompanied by the Protostar Kyle Fletcher and the man we will see in action momentarily against Kevin Owens, the Alpha, Konosuke Takeshita. What a beast Konosuke Takeshita is. What a faction Seth Rollins has brought to Monday nights. You talk about the talent just between these three individuals alone. I mean, come on now. We're looking at the future of this very industry when it comes to, I would say, all three of these individuals. I mean, Rollins is certainly going to have a hand in the future, but obviously he's going to be, hanging it up a lot sooner than a Kyle Fletcher or Konosuke Takeshita would. So Rollins is doing this to better the entire future of pro wrestling as a whole. After he hangs up the boots, after he, retires to a good cushy desk job, probably somewhere in the back, producing matches or whatever he might be doing. And KO is going to be right there alongside with him because these guys have been in the industry for quite some time, but they also have that knowledge, that experience to guide younger talent like that. Just like what Samoa Joe's doing with Bronson Reed and Powerhouse Hobbs. This is these veterans feeding this knowledge into our new generation of talent so that they can take all that knowledge and soak it up like a sponge. If they have half a brain inside their head, they do just that. A man like Samoa Joe, a man like Seth Rollins, even a man like Kevin Owens, you can learn a lot from, because they're tethered. They have had those experiences. They have had those battles. And that's exactly what Konosuke Takeshita and Kyle Fletcher have decided to do. Take Rollins up on his offer and allow him to guide them into the glorious future that could be for the Vision. As now Takeshita and Owens locking up in the center of the ring. First time matchup here tonight. Takeshita dodging the boot. Kevin Owens is just eager to get his hands on Takeshita. He ain't trying to do none of this lockup stuff. Takeshita is using Owens' anger to his advantage, allowing Owens to get his temper to get the best of him, and just playing off his own emotions. That is certainly a Seth Rollins play, if I ever heard of one. And look at this, Takeshita delivering a sharp elbow to the jaw of Kevin Owens. And now look out here, deadlift German suplex this early on in the match. Konosuke Takeshita just displaying some absolute ferocity to start things off. A lot of people would think that Takeshita is probably the perfect opponent for a guy like Kevin Owens, a man that loves to fight, loves to throw fists and throw hands, and just very physical. Takeshita is one of the more physical competitors that we've had here on the JPG channel as a whole. I mean, when he started his run here on Monday Night Raw, he mowed through most of the locker room in successful fashion. At one point, he even almost became Intercontinental Champion last year against Braun Breaker in an incredible series of matches. So Takeshita, I mean, he's already been challenged, so to speak, here on the main roster, but now he's in a position where he can take all the knowledge he already has and build towards his future. Let's look at this, Takeshita. Beautiful dragon suplex. With a guy like Seth Rollins, Takeshita and Kyle Fletcher will obviously be showcased a lot more. As you can see, Takeshita in the main event tonight, so the spotlight are on them now. And the pressure is at an all-time high, I'm sure, especially when you're against competitors like Kevin Owens, men that are so experienced. There's now Takeshita facing the wrath of the prize fighter. Kevin Owens turning things back around for about the first time in this match that we've seen him be on the offensive side. Is now, look at this. Now you talk about some sharp elbows. That's exactly what Kevin Owens just delivered in the corner there. Is now Owens taken to the skies, goes for a huge splash, but Takeshita, and look at this, Fletcher talking some trash on the outside. And now look out here. You've got to be kidding me. A release electric chair into a bridging German suplex. I mean, come on. What the hell is this guy even doing here? I mean, Takeshita is absolutely insane, and now a deadlift sit-out powerbomb right after. There is a reason why we call this man the Alpha. And you're seeing exactly why as he brings the fight to Kevin Owens. I mean, Takeshita is a special talent, almost a once-in-a-generation-esque talent. Goes for a pop-up powerbomb of his own. Takeshita having it scouted. And now goes for a rolling elbow. Owens able to reverse it, but look out. Oh, big DDT. Reversing the power slam, whatever Owens had planned to deliver a float over DDT by Takeshita, as now he sends Kevin Owens not only to the floor, but to the Vision side, of course. As now Takeshita gonna take to the skies here and crash overboard with a tope con hilo. The tope over the top ropes takes out the former Universal Champion Kevin Owens. As now Takeshita sending Kevin Owens forcefully back in the ring, furthering establishing his dominance here. Again, Kyle Fletcher in the corner there. I think he just undid the turnbuckle pad. And yeah, that's something we saw out of the Judgment Day's playbook in the last match. Takeshita now riding a high right now, but he needs to be careful because Kevin Owens is not a guy that you want to give an inch. You don't even want to give him a moment to breathe. There's now a rolling elbow from Takeshita right into a variation of the Walls of Jericho. Modified Boston Crab, but Kevin Owens slips out. As now Owens, big strike knee right to the face. Knee to the face of Takeshita. And now look out here, Kevin Owens. Oh, a big European uppercut by Kevin Owens. And now look out here, Owens targeting that arm of Konosuke Takeshita. In the middle of this match, I'd like to break some news here. CM Punk, obviously we knew that him and Samoa Joe were going to be fighting for the WWE Championship at the Royal Rumble. But I am told that Punk has especially requested that match to be a submission match. Punk and Joe are going to be fighting for the WWE Championship in just a shy of a week at the Royal Rumble in a submission match. Both men possess the ability to submit each other. And now look out, Kevin Owens with a beautiful moonsault, almost a course-correcting moonsault. He started frontwards but then ended backwards. That was a tremendous agility out of the bigger man, Kevin Owens. Goes for the cover here, but that is tremendous breaking news. Punk and Joe's submission match. That could get downright ugly, folks. As now look out here, Owens. Speaking of downright ugly, I think he was going to go for a package pile driver, a move that put, ironically, CM Punk on the shelf for the better part of 2 months. Now look at this. Takeshita turns it around into a powerbomb final flash knee combo. Goes for the cover. Count of 1, 2. Owens has to get that shoulder out. That was almost a quick win by Takeshita here. As Takeshita now, oh no, trying to send Owens overboard, but Owens sends him crashing to the floor. As our prize fighter trying to get back in the fight. A man that loves to fight. His entire motto is just to fight. As now look at this. Powerbomb right on the announce table. My God, and Owens ain't even trying to win by no count out in this one. Owens is going to take the fight right to Konosuke and the entire Vision. As a matter of fact, over the top rope goes Owens. Beautifully done by the prize fighter. Konosuke Takeshita is reeling from that one. And now Owens is getting a little bit out of hand here, ripping apart our announce table out here. But, I mean, you can't blame this man for wearing his emotions on his sleeve right now after the number of weeks that the Vision has tried to get the better of him. As now Owens trying to get Takeshita back up on his feet, sending Takeshita into the turnbuckle here. Big kick right to the midsection. KO now. Big run up. KO cannonball. That is vintage Kevin Owens right there. And now Owens goes off the ropes, or tries to, for that matter. Goes for another splash this time. He was able to connect. Splash connects. Takeshita's in trouble. Has to get the shoulder out. Takeshita peeling that shoulder off the mat. It has been an absolutely grueling war with Kevin Owens, but I don't know how Takeshita doesn't expect anything less. I don't know how Rollins doesn't prepare him for anything more. Rollins knows Kevin Owens quite well. As look at this, a rolling hills off the top rope. Rollins knows that when you're in a fight with Kevin Owens, you feel it even the week after. As now KO goes for a swanton. Might have got a little too overzealous that time, because now Takeshita going for something there, but Owens able to reverse. Back and forth these two are going now, trading blows. Kevin Owens goes off the ropes though, with a huge big boot right into a big splash. Big splash connects. Is now KO again off the ropes with a huge senton. KO now feeling it, goes to the top rope. Takeshita could be in trouble, and now Takeshita, he's feeling it, but wait a minute, might have gotten caught. Kevin Owens stuns Takeshita and might have just picked up the victory right there. That's how quickly Kevin Owens can take advantage of a mistake. We mentioned how good Konosuke Takeshita is, but at the end of the day, he also has much more to learn, and that's why he's in this Vision faction of Seth Rollins, to learn from mistakes just like that. Takeshita just costing himself this damn match in the main event by getting a little too ahead of himself, by getting a little too in his head and a little too cocky for his own good. Kevin Owens gets a measure of revenge on Takeshita and the Vision as a whole. And that's going to do it for Monday Night Raw, folks. The next time we see each other, it'll be Friday Night SmackDown, and then on to the Royal Rumble, the men's and women's Royal Rumble, who is going to kick off their 2026 in the biggest way possible by securing a spot in the main event of WrestleMania. We will find out in the coming days.